Okay, guys, I know it's been a while since I made an update to the Urgot page. I've kind of got my old pages here, but I just wanted to add, I guess, some extra stuff just to keep the video fresh, because I feel like the video is pretty old. I had freshly nerfed Airy, I had Time Warp. So first we're gonna go what I run top lane. Pretty much every lane. This is what I'm gonna be running. Since the changes where you don't get stats on your secondary tree, you can take resolve and you can get offensive stats, which is I think it's the main reason why I just run spellbook almost every game, and why grasp is such an okay option now, because like there's really no reason to be running comet and airy, because we used to do that for the stats. Comet and airy, it's fine damage, sure, but like 12 AD was huge. Now that it doesn't matter what you run, you still get your promised AD. It's just, it's much better to just go spellbook, or grasp. But I would very often you should go spellbook over grasp. So okay, let's look at what you got. So this is our top lane Urgot, right? So let's just call this top lane Urgot. So inspiration is always spellbook, footwear. Some people like DMATs here. I'm a really big fan of Biscuit Delivery. Having permanent 40 mana cap is pretty nice, and 15% of your missing HP and mana, because like when it increases your mana cap by 40, it gives you the 40 mana immediately. So if you're in a tough spot, like Biscuit can just be like a little surprise, like, hey, I'm up 40 mana. Approach velocity is so much better now. Now that they just absolutely dumped on Time Warp, this should never be taken. I have no fucking idea, because it doesn't work with elixirs anymore. So late game, like after you end up selling your corrupting pot, which should obviously be pretty late in the game, it has no effect. And 5% MS is good, but it's not keystone worthy if it doesn't even increase the sustain that the potions give you online. So approach velocity is just the best now. You should always be taking it. I mean, it's pretty much unmatched. Like 15% movement speed is crazy. Permanently. Like you or your allies slow someone and you get 15% MS. If your ally is slowed, you get 15% MS. I mean, it's just crazy. Like 15% is so much. I like sometimes I look at the rune and it just confuses me, like why it's so strong. So also second wind revitalize, you're gonna get poked in lane, right? Your W just got nerfed. It's got a 17-second cooldown at rank 1, and you're maxing Q. You're maxing Q. So 17 seconds every single time you want to block a punch is not good. As much as I love Urgot, he needs the sustain. Even before the W nerf, I would still run this just because second revitalize is great. 15% stronger. You're always below 40% HP. When you're in that late game stage and you're tanking for your team and you're just eating punches, Revitalize is 15% stronger. It's really nice. It's really nice because your shields are like what 600 late game. You're popping gargoyles. You know, boom, 600 extra HP plus 15%. That's like an extra like 90 HP every time you use it. So I think it's just really really efficient. And then second wind, of course, is just a nice laning tool. And second wind revitalize, Dorn shield corrupting pot. It all goes well. Okay, so that's our top lane Urgot. That's pretty much your standard page. Um, nice, my client froze up. Okay, there we go. So this used to be my only Renekton page. I'm gonna call this tough lane Urgot. So this is the grasp page that you run into tough lanes. Generally, grasp is fine. The reason why we go shield bash is there's a bonus to the damage it does. So it's not just the damage it does. It gives you 1 to 10 armor and magic resist based on level. Now I think it's up to like level 18 and not to level 10, so it's not amazing. But if you're gonna be bullied under and demolish isn't gonna be your most effective thing, having like +3, +4 armor depending on what level you are is kind of nice. I mean you do a little bit of damage and you have a big shield and you have a lot of bonus health. So I mean, I'm not saying Shield Bash is the best rune ever, but it's pretty good. I mean, Font of Life, you're probably never gonna take this shit. I mean, it's okay at best. And then, Demolish, you take Demolish in a winning lane. You know what I mean? Second win, Revitalize. Obviously, you want all the sustain you can get, and then Footwear, Velocity. I mean, I don't think this second tree is like negotiable at all. I just think you really need Velocity and Footwear. I think it's just a really standard page. It's very much like our regular top lane page, except we get Grasp. But Grasp has this mental thing against laners. So every time you attack with Grasp, right, you do like, I think it's like 10 extra damage. It's less than Airy, right? You do less than Airy and you get 3 max HP. And people may think, oh, if I stack this a million times, 3 max HP is good. But what people fail to realize is Urgot would have to take, if Urgot was sitting there attacking someone to get HP, he would have to be attacking someone for like 2+ minutes to get 100 HP on Grasp. So I'm not saying Grasp is completely worthless, but I'm saying mentally people don't want to give you the proc, and the proc almost doesn't matter. I mean, obviously you should take the proc whenever you can to try and stack up a little bit, but even if you stack perfectly, you're gonna get like 200 HP. It's not a big deal. But your opponents mentally, you can zone them out even if they're stronger than you because they don't want to give you the Grasp proc. They get so scared of giving you that value that they just don't want to be there anymore. So Grasp is great. You can Grasp versus Pantheon, you can Grasp versus Aatrox, Grasp versus Renekton. Any champion that gives you a lot of trouble and does a lot of poke, you can take Grasp with. Now, in terms of like really hard matchups, like for example, like if you're looking at Darius in the face, you're not going to take Grasp on Darius versus Darius because Darius's pull range is akin to your Grasp auto attack. So, run spellbook if you're into Darius. Don't do yourself like that. Okay, so that's our tough lane Urgot. So that's our second page. Okay, I think we're gonna be looking at well, I'll put in my Urgot jungle page for you guys. I know that some people really like it. So PTA is gonna be first. It's gonna be Bloodline or Tenacity, depending on the team you're into. I personally like Bloodline because, I mean, you don't have the most sustain in the jungle. And then Last Stand is nice because you're never. With Urgot, I say this all the time. Like, people who take this tree shouldn't take Coup de Grace because the last 40% of HP. So if you're looking to execute somebody, 40% HP and down, Coup de Grace is not the way to do it. Because you're already gonna grab somebody when they're 25% HP or less. So you're gonna get so little value. Only 15% value is gonna come from that. Versus you're always below 60% HP. It's actually ridiculous. Oops, I actually switched back into it. Ignore that. So yeah, I think this page is fine. Sometimes everybody wants to take Presence of Mind, but Triumph is just so good. Don't be greedy. Just take Triumph. Respect it. PTA is great now. 40 base damage. Awesome. You don't get any attack speed from this tree, so double awesome. You can take your AD and you can get your 40 damage proc from your W. I think this is the most damaging keystone in the jungle. Like when there are no minions around or anything, I think PTA is the most damage you can get. I mean, I suppose you could probably like do some crazy stuff with Conqueror, like a fully stacked Dark Harvest. You can do crazy stuff, but PTA is super reliable, and you don't have to take the attack speed, so just take PTA. I don't like Predator. I know that I probably said that Predator Urgot was okay for the jungle before. And it's okay. I'm not saying it's awful, but PTA has so much late game longevity. Like if you get to late game and God forbid you ignore everything that I've ever said and you go, full tank. You don't build cleaver, you don't build mallet, you ignore everything. You go full tank with PTA, you're still super useful to your team, right? Because PTA is base damage and it's exposure damage for everybody. Celerity Water Walking is fine. I would stick with this just because Urgot's so slow, and having him be slow going around river is pretty bad. So yeah, celerity, water walking, double adaptive force should be good, and then I would also take armor. Generally, I'd take HP, but the HP scales to level 18. It's not that good, and then the armor is really good against jungle camps. So that's our Urgot jungle page, and then our ADC Urgot page. Run the top lane Urgot, and then for Urgot support, see, this should be fine for Urgot support. Again, please never run this page. Never do this to your teammates. It's pretty bad to ever try to run this. You don't have enough gold to be useful ever, and it's borderline sickening to how bad you are when you run Urgot support. So do yourself a favor. Don't do this to your team. Hold on to your self-respect. Never run this page. But if you ever find yourself running it down bot lane, this is the page. And to reiterate, for anybody that is just skipping through the video looking for an ADC Urgot page, use your top lane Urgot for the ADC page. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to come to that conclusion by themselves, but there it is. So that is Urgot runes finished. If you guys have any questions, drop in stream, ask them on the Discord, ask them on YouTube, ask them on the Mobile. I am pretty much always available. And I also do coaching. Sometimes it's pro bono. Like I'll post on stream or I'll post on my Instagram when the coaching is pro bono, and I also do paid coaching. So if my guide and the videos aren't enough, you can always come to me. Obviously, you're gonna have to wait a little bit if you want a pro bono, but for me, when I was a low elo, coaching was worth the wait. Or if you want to pay, you can always do that too. All right, guys, have a good one. Hopefully this helps.